So, how long have you been a mage? Nisa asked the old man beside him. About 30 years or so. Never really reckoned myself as a mage. I usually hunker down with my studies. Ah, so he is more like a scholar. She thought. For that amount of time, you should be able to score a job at the university, maybe around Gladia level. I don't know how your system work, but in human qualification system, I should be around level 3. Nisa could hear Rock's spit take behind her. Excuse me, but what the duck? I know you humans are slow, but after 50 years? Rock asked. The old man replied, but with a snicker, I didn't fully dive into studying back then. I was a scientist back on Earth. A scientist? Is that some kind of special scholars? So, mister, I just realized we haven't gotten your name yet. Palai hopped forward and asked. Isaac Moore, just Isaac, works for me. He replied. Right, so Mr. Isaac, how did you end up here? Palai asked the old man. I was gathering herbs. You are on the 10th floor of the Maggle dungeon. Palai answered flatly. Oh, I was in Maggle? I always wanted to visit that dungeon, but I am always bus you are on the 10th floor, old man. Right now, the floor you are standing on. Oh, that's right, nice. Nice? What do Palai scream at the old man was cut short by Maina's staff slamming against his head. Nisa gave her a thumbs up. Calm down, Palai. With the fog on the surface, getting lost here is a no-brainer. I know that, Nias, but he doesn't even know that he is currently in a dungeon. Like how another slam. Another thumbs up. So, old man, Rock, who just recovered from his fit of laughter, asked, What's your plan now? The old man answered immediately, Well, I reckon I would follow you folks. Y'all sound like good people to me. I am afraid that isn't possible. Nisa answered. I am sure you have heard about the last boss of this dungeon? The old man thought for a bit. The Grand Azenal? Yes. Nisa replied. A mutated arch slime living for centuries, resistant to fires, and most stuff you throw against it. Rumors said its only weakness are toxin and water. Used to. Maya cut her. New report came. No longer weak to water. Nisa nodded. Yeah, if you are wondering why they let something so dangerous in a dungeon that is so close to town, it's because it's just too strong. A high-rank party could defeat it, but considering it usually just stayed doormat on the final floor, nobody bothered. It just isn't worth it. Until today. Palai proudly puffed his cheek. The other so-called high-ranking parties must be filled with babies. How hard is it to defeat a slim quad? Don't get cocky, Palai. Nisa squeezed his pointy ears like an older sister scolding her little brother. There are reasons why most party avoid this. It's just not worth it. Nisa turned to the old man. So, yeah, that's the reason. Isaac nodded with a smile. I understand. Though I also wonder what's the difficulty with them slime. See? Palai, with his pointy ears still red, turned. Even the human can. Another slam. Another thumbs up. Lots of reasons. Nisa simply answered. Anyway, we will escort you to the hub, and then we will continue on our way. Does that sound good? Nisa asked. Isaac nodded. Sounds good to me. The group walked in an awkward silence for a while, before the old man suddenly asked, Why did your group, your party, decided to take on this monster? Nisa replied by smacking her large-scaled tail against Palai, causing him to trip. Some idiot in our party think it will be a great idea to get drunk and boast while on a meeting with the royalties. Unlike usual, Palai shut up instead of retorting back, probably because he knew how it's actually his fault. Who knew that the idiot still have some kind of self-awareness? Good for him. The old man laughed. Understandable. He chuckled. I remember being real drunk and accidentally blowing up my bedroom. Understandable. Nisa replied. The old man began chatting with her party, sharing old stories and jokes. Apparently, the old man's parents used to be a famous scientist back on Texas, and now he tried taking on their mantle. She tried gauging his work, but she couldn't understand most of his word. Human science are weird indeed. The two sides were having a good time when the corridor started to grow darker. How long we will reach the hub anyway? Rock asked from behind, unsettled by the atmosphere. Maina pulled out a map from the bag with her tails. If this map correct, not too far. Go forward for another. Beware. Traps. Maina squint her eyes trying to read the map, but even with her feline eyes, the darkness is too much. Give me a second. Maina cast a small fireball in her hand. Go forward for another 20 steps or so. Beware of a trap. Slime-covered floor that will open up that will directly go to the Grand Arsenal room. The trap is triggered with heat. The group looked toward the fireball in Mena hand, and then below them. Dark flesh like slime covered their feet now started to react like boiling water. Nisa had known the big rock for years, and this is the first time she heard him scream like that. If they weren't currently falling to their demise, she would definitely tease him for it. Unfortunately, the situation wasn't that great for a casual banter. They fell. The good news is the slime softened their fall, and most of them are A-okay. The bad news is they were in the Grand Arsenal room. Nisa tried to calm herself down and observed the situation. The silent Mena was screeching. Her face contorted as she tried to get away from the abomination. The slime smell horrific, and for a catfolk like Mena, it's literal heck. The old man Isaac tried to run away but tripped to the ground. His face more or less looks like Mena. She didn't know that a human face could be that red. Palai looked at the thing approaching him and fainted right away. Nisa collected her mind and looked at the direction Palai was looking. As big as the Tower of Merdosa, its color dark, its limbs many, it screeches loudly, and it smells horrific, as if the entire kingdom population love was directly streamed against her nose. On top of it was something that resembled a lizard folk like her, except if it was hanged, beaten, smelt, and liquidized all in one go. With the information Nisa had gathered with her observation, she concluded a plan. Rock, pick up the human and Mena. Run to the door. Nisa yelled at the top of her lung as she picked up Palai and start running. Rock snapped from his trance and quickly followed. The two of them ran toward the door. She pulled the door, but no matter how hard she tried it wouldn't budge. Nisa, be quick. Rock screamed behind her. The thing is approaching rapidly. Swajoini Slabim Tupanak, after trying her best for the past 2 minutes or so, Mena had recovered just enough to cast a spell. The ground under them lurched upward, and they all launched. While it wasn't far enough, they launched just enough to escape the grasp of the abomination. The two used their remaining strength to grab the slimy wall and climbed back. After what felt like an eternity, the two managed to climb back to the 10th floor. Everyone was too exhausted to say anything, while Nisa and Rock felt as if their lifespan had been cut by half. After half an hour of laying down on the floor, panting and occasional vomiting, the group had gathered enough strength to walk to the hub. The adventurers on the hub helped them a ton. Some of them attended to her and Rock wound, while some gave them what left of their ration. Nisa was sure that if Mena wasn't fed that time, she might have fallen into a coma, or worse. After everyone began to calm down, the questions started coming. To think even that your party. That must be horrible, no wonder no party wanted to go there. Nisa sat there with her disheveled cloth. She fully agreed that this was a stupid idea, but they had no choice. The deal was already made, and if they tried backing down now, she is confident that the noble that had contracted them will have her and her companion head on the chopping block tomorrow. Nisa looked at her party again. Palai still fainted. Mena was still being healed, and Rock looked like he is about to die. The human, however, while looking like her fellow companions, had a strange look in his eyes. Mena, can you describe what it smelt like? Isaac asked Mena. Mena didn't respond. Old man, I don't think you want to ask her that. That thing will haunt her till she is dead, I am sure. Rock chimed in. Nisa agreed silently. Beside, I am pretty sure that you can also smelt that. Why do you need to ask? Rock asked. I just need to make sure. The old man mumbled. It smelt like ducking love. What is there to make sure? Rock snapped at him. Instead of backing down, the old man jumped. I knew it. I knew it. Lizard La Nisa. My name is Nisa. Yes, Nisa. Do you really need to defeat this thing? The old man, now leaning right in front of her, asked. Well, yes. Nisa answered in confusion. What's the matter? No, I need to make sure that it is worthwhile. Isaac answered with laughter, before dashing to a random adventurer on the side. Hey, you pointy ears. Where is the exit? Well, you can go left to the upper floor BU, and there he goes. Hopefully he doesn't die on the way home. Finger crossed. Just as the old man left, Palai finally began to stir awake. Wake up. Rock flicked his long ears. Yuhi, I have this. Really weird. Awesome. Dream. So there was this super beautiful slime girl. With some huge, I said, wake up, you lazy captive. Rock slapped him, cutting his half-asleep rambling short. What did you? Paulai looked around at people staring at him. When his eyes landed on a slime girl adventurer on the corner of the room looking at him in disgust, he felt that he should have never been born. Well, since he finally woke up, we just need to wait for Maina to woke up and try again, Nisa said, completely ignoring Paulai shrinking himself behind her back to hide from embarrassment. Try again? Are you mad? Or I am just slowly going insane? Rock asked her flatly. Maybe both, Rock. Maybe both. Nisa sighed. I mean, what choice do we have? Rock pondered and answered with silent. Thought so. Nisa grumbled. The three of them were now seated around Maina, still deep in her sleep. After a while, the activity on the hub resumed, leaving the party there in silent. Nobody talked. Even the annoying Paulai knew that this was not really a good time to make some jokes and went silent as well. Nisa thought about her family back home. Thanks heaven she had left them a will before going here. After some time of waiting, a familiar noise came. An unexpected but a familiar one. Nisa, I brought it. The old man returned, with some kind of weird bottle in his hand. Had to go to my base again, but thankfully there was this nice guy on a carriage going the same way, so what is that? Nisa pointed at the bottle. The old man looked at her, and looked back at the bottle. Oh, this is bleach. A bleach? What cloth you want to wash? Rock asked. Oh no, my friend, this is a special bleach. The recipe came from a friend of my old grandpa. He was the best chemist in New Mexico, so you could trust him. Nisa didn't know what a Mexico is and why is it new, but if she had to guess, the bleach was some kind of potion? How does that even work? The old man ran toward the previous corridor. Nisa stood up to follow him, but a strong arm halted her movement. Nisa, where are you going? I am following him in case of anything goes wrong, Rock. Come on. Rock sighed before letting her go. Fine, but I am going as well. Hey, guard her. Rock told the dumbfounded Paulai before following Nisa. After some walking, the both of them met the old man standing near the trap, the strange bottle in one hand, and a strange small box in another. Isaac, what are yo? Nisa question was cut short as a fire came out from the strange small box. The floor began to bubble. Thankfully, they are standing right on the edge of the trap. When a hole pop up, the old man throw the strange bottle with its lid open and extinguish the fire from his small box, letting the floor sealed up again. And now, the old man looked at them. We wait. The old man stand there with his arms crossed, looking weirdly proud. Did you hit your head on the way home? Rock asked. No, just wait. Isaac replied. 2 minutes had passed. Nothing had happened. Rock patient ran out. I am going back to the hub. Maina should have or rumble. What the duck was that? Rock looked around. Nisa followed suit. The room they were standing on began to shake. No. The entire dungeon began rumbling. Nisa could hear screams of confusion and panic from the hub. Nisa could also hear a mad laughter from behind her. It's working. I can't believe it. The old man laughter rang almost louder than the dungeon itself. What did you do? Rock yelled on the top of his lung as the three of them fell to the floor. The dungeon was rumbling like crazy. None of them could stand up. I just did a simple chemistry. Nothing much. Who the duck is chemistry and why is it simple? Nisa gripped the surrounding wall and closed her eyes. Goodbye, everyone. How long has it been? Nisa wondered. Nisa slowly opened her eyes. Everything looked the same and the rumbling had stopped. Guess it's not her time to die yet. Nisa looked to her side, and a large gaping hole had opened there. She looked down and saw the room they fell in before. Except, unlike last time, she could see the floor being covered with some sort of dark liquid. Are you serious? Rock muttered behind her. Both of them realized what they were seeing at the same time. It's dead? Big man. Don't stand there too long. The old man walked towards them, bringing a couple of weird masks in his hand. If you want to, you need to wear these first. The old man handed the mask to Still Agape, Rock, and her. Otherwise you might is that? The old man pushed both of them away to peer closer. I finally found it. It's the herb Raja had been looking for. He pointed at the weird plant on the room floor and jumped through. I still can't believe it. It's dead. Am I dreaming? Just who is he? Nisa muttered. A madman, probably. Mayna's voice came behind them. By the way, the old man told you to wear this mask, right? Mayna asked, picking up one of the masks from the ground. Yes, he told me it will keep me safe from the poison. Well, he wasn't wearing any. Mayna replied. They peered through the hole and saw the old man fainted on the ground. Well, at least we now know he is an idiot. Mayna answered Nisa's previous question, while her two companions rushed toward the hole in a hurry.